Hey guys, in today's lesson video, I'm going to talk about some simple things that you can add on to your driver swing, which will really help you with your speed and your distance. If you want to add these couple things to even your wood swing, your long iron swings, that will be very beneficial as well, because we need speed to launch the golf ball up, and we have to launch the golf ball up for everyday golfers to get the maximum optimal total distance that we could physically have. So what we want to focus on first is that our backswing top position. So if you focus on any golfer that really hits the golf ball a far distance out on tour, who really bombs it. I'm not talking about like averaging like 300 yards, because every tour professional can hit the golf ball 300 yards. I'm talking about like 320, averaging around 320-ish. Every one of those golfers have a very high position at the top of their backswing. So don't mistake a high position at the top for a long overswing. So that's not what I'm talking about. A high top of the backswing position is at the top of their backswing position, their hands and the golf club is at a very, very high position, as you can see here. For most of those golfers that can hit the golf ball really far, their hand position is actually around head level or slightly above head level. No one's at a very low position. So one golfer that I can think about, well, there's a couple golfers I can think about out on tour that have a kind of a low position that still hits the golf ball a far distance, but let's just focus on most of the golfers that hit the ball to far distance, not just couple golfers. One golfer that I can think in mind is Rory McIlroy. He doesn't have a very high top of the backswing position, but he uses his body so well to sling his arms towards his target that he's a blue chip player, he's an outlier. So let's not focus on one player, let's focus on all the other golfers like Bryson DeChambeau and the golfer that's ranked #1 out on the PGA Tour. I believe his name is Aldrich Guterich. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but he also has a very high top of his backswing position as well. So if you could think about any other golfers that have a low position that could still hit the golf ball far distance, please leave that player's name in the comments section below. I have a couple players in mind, so I'm not going to spoil it. Leave a comment down below. But the one thing that I want to talk about is that at the top of your backswing, we want to get the golf club and our hand position as high up as possible, as long as we maintain these two things. The first thing is that from the side view, as long as your lead shoulder is still lower than your right shoulder, we want to get our hand position as high up as possible. I don't want to get to a higher position while myself coming out of my posture, because this doesn't create any stretch, and this is not going to help us create more speed and more distance. Yes, it might get us to a higher position, but it's not the way we want to do it. Always make sure from the side view that our lead shoulder is still tilted at a slight angle, and our lead shoulder is still lower than our right shoulder. Then from this position, as long as your lead shoulder stays lower than your right shoulder, from this position, get your hand position to be as high up as possible. Now from the face-on golf swing, one thing you have to focus on is that when we load the golf club to the top of our backswing position, I always talk about we have to fold our right arm to roughly around a 90-degree angle, and that's going to help us throw the golf club towards the golf ball, towards the target coming down. So from the face-on golf swing, we're going to get the golf club up as high as possible, as long as my 90-degree angle still kind of remains in place. I don't want to go so high up where my arm is starting to extend, because if I extend my right arm, I can't throw the golf club because I don't have any angles to work with. So as long as my right arm is still at a roughly 90-degree angle, and as long as my lead shoulder is still lower than my right shoulder, I want to get my club and my arms to be as high up as possible. And that's going to really help you get more club head speed, because something falling from a higher position should be able to create more speed. So we want to get into a higher position at the top, not in a low position, a higher position at the top. And coming down in the downswing, now we have to talk about how to let's say get into the correct sequence of events, and we're going to do that with a correct tempo. So I think everyone knows what the tour tempo is. There's a couple variations, but the tour tempo is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to leave the beats here so that you guys could just hear a couple times. So with this tour tempo beat, you have to keep this in mind, and you have to do 3 things for these beats, because there's 3 beats. So what you want to notice is that the first beat is simply rotating and going to the top of your backswing. The second beat is you have to shift your weight from your right foot into your lead foot, into your left side. So right foot into your left foot. We're not rotating open, we're just going from our backswing top position, and we're shifting our weight from our right heel into the left balls of our feet. Now the third beat is when we're going to kick off of the ground, and that's when we're going to release the golf club. So kicking off of the ground, it does happen, but to keep this lesson very simple, that's just when we have to release the angles. So we have to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We have to hit those beats, and if you can hit those beats, those beats are going to come a lot sooner than you expect. But if you can hit those beats, I guarantee you're going to hit the golf ball a lot farther. So one more time, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So focus on the 3 beats: backswing, shifting your weight into your lead side, and the last part is releasing the angles. So I think the backswing part is pretty self-explanatory. The second part is we have to shift our weight from our right heel into the left balls of our feet. So we're not rotating open, because if you try to hit the beats and if you try to rotate open from our first beat, our second beat, if we try to rotate open, the third beat is already going to process and we're going to be late to release the golf club. That means that we're not going to have the correct timing to hit the golf ball a far distance. So if you really focus on the beats, the only way we can hit those beats is if we, from the top of your backswing, if we don't open up, we have to go backswing, step, release. Backswing, step, release. So when you step into your lead side, it's always going to be from your right heel into the left balls of your feet, right heel into left balls of your feet, without opening up. And the last part of the release is that what we have to focus on is that when you get the golf club to the top of your backswing, we create these angles to the top. We have to release those angles, and we have to create the opposite angles in the other side of our body. So we have to create opposite angles to the other side, and that's the third beat. So if you guys just focus on that with a high top of your backswing position, I think we'll be in a much better position. So let's go 1, 2, 3. So just really focus on this. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3. And just really hit these small little golf shots and just try to get that tempo into your system. And I think we'll be in a much better position. So just focus on that. And this one is around 260 yards. I normally hit my driver a little bit over 300 yards. So really take some heat off of your shot and just try to focus on the correct tempo. And then later, when you get the tempo into your system, then you can speed it up. So just focus on that, and hopefully this lesson video really helped out. And please try this out. And you could get your earbuds out on the golf course and just get that 1, 2, 3, or you could just say it out loud as well, because it's pretty accurate when you go 1, 2, 3, and you'll notice if you're too fast, too slow, or just on point. So try this out with the high top of the backswing position, and hopefully you guys get the speed and the distance that you want. So if you guys like the lesson video, please like and subscribe to help my channel grow. And for in-person or online lessons, I'll leave all the information in the description below. Thanks, guys.